Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Barakah Grounds. I'm here standing in front of the Musallah, and later on inshallah we will explain to you the difference between a masjid and a Musallah. Today's episode is courtesy Body By Imran, nutrition and supplements, and they are the sole distributors for Nutrabolics. It's a supplement that is halal. It's the only halal supplement here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it is approved by the Darul Uloom. Welcome to episode 11 of Iftar Insights.
The Kaaba, yet I have no roof. What am I? I can't wait to see your answers. Assalamu alaikum.
So we are sitting here in the Musallah, and I am with Auntie Annie and Uncle Nizam, who are members of the Barakah Foundation. And remember I told you before we will try to explain the difference between a masjid and a Musallah. So Uncle Nizam is going to share that with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So Uncle Nizam, what is the difference between a Musallah and a masjid?
Alhamdulillah, a Musallah is a place where people come to pray. It's not fully established as the 5 times salawat, and it's where people gather and they could pray at any time. You call the azan, you call the iqamah, and you pray. But as opposed to the masajids is where you have muazzin, you have the people, the leaders who are there all the time, right? That's the difference.
I see. So what you're saying is that there is established salah in the masjid, all the time.
All the time, 5 times salah established.
Whereas in a Musallah, it would be people would come to pray when they're passing maybe from work, or so it's not that 5 times established.
In transit, as you call it, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for sharing that with us and giving us that insight. And I hope that you understand the difference. And if you have further questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and we will get answers to you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah. Allahumma laka sumtu ala rizqika aftar bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Ya Allah, we intend to break the fast with the food that comes from thee, Ya Allah. Forgive us and have mercy on our souls. Allahumma innaka afuun kareemun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Ameen. La ilaha. Now the other dua, right? Zahaba dhamma, right? You know that one. Zahaba dhamma wabtalatil uruq watabatil ajru, inshallah. Is to you eat this first, then you say this dua when you don't eat this and water. Oh Allah, the veins have been, my thirst has been quenched, and the wa alaikum assalam, and the veins have been moist, which is a real authentic dua, right? But the words kind of tie up. Zahaba dhamme.
I know the English word.
Zahaba dhamma, right? Wabtalatil uruq, right? Watabatil ajru, inshallah.
It is amazing how disciplined we are during the month of Ramadan. And then Ramadan comes to an end, and we try our utmost to stay steadfast on that middle course. But sometimes we need the support of someone just to keep us there and to help us to stay on that middle road.
And likewise on the spiritual plane, so too on the physical aspect of things. Sometimes we also need that inspiration, that motivation, that assistance, and that is exactly what Body By Imran specializes in. They are so much more than just nutrition and supplements. They are the people that give you the impetus, the inspiration that you need to get up and go. They are the people who will give you the assistance that you sometimes so badly need, especially if it is that you've been trying on your own for so long and you've not been able to see results. If you need assistance on the physical, which also translates into building the strength and the fortitude of the mental as well, then you need to get in touch with Body by Imran. And as Asma mentioned earlier on as well, remember they are the sole distributors for the only vegan and halal certified nutritional supplement in the form of their Nutrabolics range. And the Nutrabolics brand comes with a wide variety of choices that are specifically designed to suit your individual needs as well. So give them a call. We'll put their number on screen and all their other details in the description as well. Body by Imran, thank you very much, by the way, in advance as well for enabling today's episode of Iftar Insights, episode number 11.
So Fazir is going to leave me now, and he's going to have a little chat with Inshan. And Inshan is actually I should say brother Inshan. He is the founder of the Barakah Foundation, and he's going to tell us what Barakah is all about and all the projects that they have lined up and what they have done so far, inshallah. So let's join with him, inshallah.
And one thing she said that I was totally incorrect is that I'll never leave you. I'm going to talk to Inshan, but I'm not leaving you.
Aww. It
is indeed a great barakah, a great blessing to be able now to sit and have a bit of a quick chit chat with Brother Inshan Ismail, who is the founding member of the Barakah Foundation, and whom we will seek to converse with and get some more information about when it comes to the Barakah Foundation, the work that they do, and generally speaking, their vision for Muslims of Trinidad and Tobago for the future, inshallah. Brother Inshan, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Fazir, to you and your team.
Jazakallah khair, thank you very much for having us. I know that the invitation was extended in 2019 when we had just started, but we were already booked for the rest of the schedule. And since this is the first year that we have resumed, it is only right and fitting that we do the honors and make contact with you to be able to fulfill that oath, which is incumbent on every Muslim, as you know.
Well, I could tell you that every year you can make this part of your run, because you're welcome here anytime.
Inshallah. So, Barakah Foundation, for some people, they only know it as Barakah Grounds.
Right.
Now, for the benefit of those who know it as Barakah Grounds, and more so as Barakah Food Courts, and think of it only as that Muslim food court, what do you say to those people about what Barakah Foundation really stands for?
Well, the Barakah Foundation is really the backbone of everything that takes place here. The Barakah Grounds refer to the facility itself, but the foundation is the team of people, a well-oiled team of people who come forward and work together to push the ideas forward. And this is why we have transformed in just a few years a place that was barren, that had grass as tall as you and I, and we have turned it into an activity hub not only for Muslims but non-Muslims as well. In fact, if you look around, you will see we have a function in Musallah. We have invested heavily in a pool. We have a food court with dining for 250 people and parking for about 500. We have an area that we're preparing for football and cricket. In fact, we have had cricket competition on the pitch here already. And 2 days ago, we officially turned the switch for our digital billboard. So the Barakah Foundation is the group of people, myself, Ani Khalif, Rashid Ali, and others, Randy Ali, who are part of this whole team to say, yes, we're going to do this, or no, we're not.
You mentioned just now that this is for Muslims and for non-Muslims.
Yes, correct.
And I would like to harp on that a little bit longer, because there could be a misconception that it is that Muslim place or that Muslim food court or that Muslim activity center. In truth and in fact, everything that is done here, it may be geared towards Muslims at times specifically, and it may always be with Muslim principles and Muslim values, but it is almost always open to the public.
No, that is correct. If you look at, let's just take the food, for example. all the tenants that are here are Muslims. So therefore, the question of whether the food is halal or not, there's no question about that. That's number one. Number two, if you look around right now, you will see that we have people who are non-Muslim who will come and partake and be part of it, because the fact is that it's a place of comfort and safety. There's almost nowhere in Central where you could come with your family, and because it's COVID, we don't have the dining area open, but on a Saturday, this would be a place of activity where literally hundreds of people would descend. In fact, 2 weeks ago, before we had our lockdown, this car park was filled to capacity. So it is a place where we have to, as Muslims, we must conform to the Sharia, and we must put things in place to conform. And this is why you would see, for example, we don't allow people to come here and play loud music. We don't allow alcohol on the compound. So those are the kind of things that we have, which shows that, yes, Muslims are in charge here. But the fact is that non-Muslims can feel comfortable and come here and utilize the facility without any problem.
So food court, you mentioned the digital billboard.
Yes.
Which we're going to cut across to now to get some more information on.
Of course. This next big ticket item here is our billboard. The concept for this came about maybe 2 years ago, when we wanted to get something off the highway. For example, Islamic messages and information for people who want to know what's going on at Barakah Grounds. For example, our Eidgahs, our drift sessions, and whatever big events we're having. So we thought that the best way would be to have a billboard which would, serve several purposes. One is to provide information, and two, the bigger of the two, would be to give dawah. In fact, we have seen 1 or 2 static billboards with messages, and we commend the people who have been putting out for these billboards. And it costs quite a lot of money. But this, being a digital format, we'd be able to send out different messages and, give some positive dawah. Also, it would allow us to answer back immediately in regards to issues worldwide. For example, we know that terrorism is something that stains the Muslim community, and we will be able to put up messages to showcase, some positive aspects of the Muslim community. I would like to thank those who supported us in financing this, because a project like this cost us over 800,000. The brother who assisted us with the steel structure, for the people who assisted us with the screen, and for those people who would be able to help us pay the electrical bill for this. So on behalf of all of us, I would like to thank, Iftar Insights for visiting our Barakah Grounds here. It's a pleasure having you guys, and whenever I get a chance on Facebook, I take a view and I take a look, and I want to commend the team for the fantastic efforts that you all are making throughout Trinidad and Tobago, because what you're doing, you're bringing, the insights of the Jamaats throughout Trinidad and Tobago into the homes and into the computers and phones for those people who cannot go out. So may Allah continue to bless you. May He continue to give you health and strength. And whenever you want a home on IBN, I will give you that home and that time at no cost. So therefore, you have a further voice, inshallah. So Ramadan Mubarak from all of us here at the Barakah Foundation.
I mean, Jazakallah khair, brother Inshad. I almost call you Uncle Inshad.
What I mean is that you're only 3 years older than me, sir.
So food courts, we've just seen and gotten the download on the digital billboard, the Dawah billboard, if we could call it that. But tell us a little bit more, though, about the hospital. I understand the sod was turned recently, as you just mentioned as well. But what are the plans for this hospital? And when people talk about a Muslim hospital, what defines a Muslim hospital? Is it that it's going to be open only to Muslims? Is it that it is going to be run by Muslims, staffed only by Muslims? Is it free to Muslims? What defines the Muslim hospital?
Well, let me, with your permission, give you a little backstory. When we had applied for land for use by the Muslim community, our goal was to get somewhere where we would host Eidgahs.
Right.
And have expos, etc. And we have accomplished that at Barakah Grounds. In fact, before COVID, we hosted some of the largest Eidgahs and expos, etc. And that was the main intent, to have an assembly point for the Muslim community where we could host events. And out of that, one of the ideas that I threw to the committee was the hospital. And everybody was excited because in Trinidad and Tobago, you know that healthcare is a serious issue. And when you hear us talking about a Muslim hospital, the fact is that, again, as with Barakah Grounds, everything must comply with the Sharia, meaning that whatever we do across there must be in compliance. So therefore, when we say Muslim hospital, that is what we're talking about. And when we refer to that aspect of it too as well, we want to make sure that the women are being taken care of by female doctors wherever possible, because the fact is that we know that in Trinidad and Tobago we have limited resources. So this is why we want to, draw from resources throughout the Caribbean. Now, the hospital is going to be a paid facility because it's impossible to run a hospital and have it free. You're going to bust after the first week because a hospital is not a cheap thing to run. We plan to do everything from cardiology to ophthalmology, dentistry, you name it, across the board. Pediatrics is also of concern to us. And then also, you have a ward for childbirth, etc. Muslims tend to, when Allah told us to go forth and multiply, we decide to go forth and multiply. So therefore, that is one part of the wing which will be very busy. And this idea, when we decided that, look, we're going to go forward with it, we wanted to do something different. And this is why we said, look, every month we're going to give back, meaning that we're going to do free surgeries every month for those people who cannot afford, of course, within limitations. The cost of treatment is going to be less. In fact, when it comes to the very health care of the patient, we're looking at the time that they put into us. For example, some people go to a hospital and spend all day for an appointment. We plan to change that a bit. In fact, the motto of the hospital is putting back the care in healthcare. So we plan to operate differently from most facilities. And this facility, the costs that we have gotten from our contractors, $45 million.
Wow.
And of course, we look forward to your check, Faziri, inshallah. What happens is that we know, what happens is that we are looking forward to it because we know Allah has blessed you tremendously. So therefore, we are eagerly anticipating. But the public has an opportunity to be part of this. The Muslim community has an opportunity to fund this through Sadaqatul Jariyah. And what we have gotten, we have people who paid 5 years ago when the concept came out for rooms where they could sponsor a room on their father or mother's name, where they could sponsor a beam, a block, a pound and nail for those who can afford. To raise these funds, for me, it is not insurmountable in that I believe that once you decide to go forth and do something, Allah will bless the project, inshallah. And we are looking forward to start this anytime within the next 2 weeks. We turned this out already, and we are looking to break ground in about 2 weeks' time, inshallah.
So these are quite exciting times, and Inchan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll try to summarize that by saying that the idea of the Muslim hospital is a medical facility built and governed by proper medical practices, but also by Muslim values that is open to the wider public.
I should have had you there when we launched, so therefore you can make that exact same statement because nothing that I said could have compared to what you just said.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. What else other than, we've talked about the food court, we've talked about the Musallah earlier on, we've spoken about the pool facility. We didn't quite go into detail on that though. Just give us a little more detail on the pool and its accessibility.
Well, the pool is free to the public. But what happens is that for people who want to host events with their family, there's a small charge because at the end of the day, we need to recover some of our funds for the maintenance. For people who need aqua therapy, it's free as well. For children with disabilities, absolutely free. But because the public cannot utilize pools because of the COVID regulations right now, everything has been locked down. But after once things has opened back up, people could come contact us and we will make the arrangements for their families to come across. They could dine there, they could buy food, go across. We could do so much more here, but the goal is for the Muslim community to unite and become one. And the reason why we did not do a drive for St. Vincent this year, we have had so many Muslims contact us who don't have food, who are unemployed because of COVID, who unfortunately are being thrown out because they can't pay their rent. So we decided to prioritize. We decided that, look, CARICOM will help deal with St. Vincent, the US will help to deal with St. Vincent, but we cannot leave so much people in need now and look after others when we have our own brothers and sisters here who are desperate, and we see it every single day. Every single day. In fact, last year we gave out over $1 million in zakat, and we continue to do that because people trust us, inshallah. So again, this is another avenue for you, excess money that you have, you could send it in our direction to do what is necessary, inshallah.
I mean, inshallah. Inshallah, thank you very much again for having us.
Pleasure.
Thank you for the hospitality. Thank you for the delicious burgers. It's always a pleasure to eat anything from Brilliant. I, in particular, am a huge fan of the hot wings as well. The atomic wings, which I've been dared in the past to have,
Yes.
and I've had it. And I have to give credit where credit is due in that a lot of people talk a hot talk, but they don't walk a hot walk. So it's definitely, if you're into spicy food, it's definitely something that you should add to your bucket list if you've not yet.
Well,
had
I can tell you something. My wife and I came up with 100% of the menu there.
Right.
And the wings, that was conceptualized by myself, and I never tasted it.
To this day?
Never. Wouldn't dare. Wouldn't dare.
You're not a pepper mouth.
Fazir, if I eat pimentos, I start a cold sweat. And the day I opened that bottle and I accidentally touched my face, right? A little bit on my face was on fire. And I decided, I say, if this thing could do this stay to the outside, what it could, so I never had it. Never had it.
So the man is literally selling something that he himself doesn't buy, but we'll give him a blind because he sells and buys so many other things as well. Inshallah, Jazakallah khair once again. Thank you for having us here, and thank you for the opportunity to highlight Barakah Ground, the Barakah Foundation, and the Musallah here at the Barakah Grounds in today's episode of Iftar Insights, inshallah.
Well, I can tell the population to look forward to Iftar Insights on IBN. I spoke to Fazir beforehand, and what happened is that we'll put them prime time, inshallah, on IBN. It's a pleasure having them because something like this needs to be recognized. And may Allah continue to bless you, the young man who looks very young behind the camera, and your wife,
Ameen.
who is your rock
Ameen.
in all that you do,
Ameen.
inshallah.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair again, and
Wa
assalamu alaikum.
alaikum.
So now you know Barakah Grounds is more than just a food court. It's a family hub that operates on Muslim values, and the public is always welcome. Thank you, Brother Inchan, for sharing all the details about what happens here at the Barakah Grounds. And if you would like to contribute to the Dawah board or to the hospital that is going to be built soon, be sure to contact him so that you can make your contributions. We will leave the details and contact information in the description below, inshallah. Special thanks to Body By Imran for making today's episode possible, and special thanks to you for viewing today's episode, inshallah. Remember, if you enjoyed today's episode, to like, follow and subscribe to us as well, and also share with your friends and your relatives, inshallah. So tomorrow we are going to be going to the masjid, one of the masjids in fact in Sandy Grande, and I hope that you would join us then tomorrow, inshallah. I know you're waiting Mariam's answer to her question, and she is eagerly waiting to share it with you as well. So until we meet again tomorrow, inshallah, assalamu alaikum.
I've got your answer for you, but let me repeat the question. The question was, I'm also the Kaaba, yet I have no roof. What am I? The answer is Hatim. It is part of the Kaaba. If you got it correct, congratulations. If not, now your knowledge has been increased. Assalamu alaikum.